going to learn how to make a stress strain curve for a given samples using the data that we pull off of our machine. As you can see, we have the elastic region, the plastic region, and the region where we have breakage or where the necking starts. These are the two main points: the yield stress, the stress at which your sample or your material starts to enter the elastic region where the deformation cannot be reversed, and then you have the ultimate tensile stress wherein the sample that you have starts to break. Using this curve, we are also going to find out what our modulus of elasticity should be. So to get things started, we are going to load up our dog bone sample into our machine. So you can call these either the jaws or the clamps, whichever you want. We have to get this fixed in between them. If you come closer, you can see that we have arrow marks. These arrow marks indicate which direction you should turn the handle in order to tighten it. So we are going to place our sample like so. Please keep in mind that the top part and the bottom part of the sample is supposed to be inside the jaws or the clamps. This is the main part which we are concerned with, and this is the part where we will have the necking and the fracture point. So we place it like so. Let's just adjust it a little bit so it's not too bad. Okay, so once that is done, we need to tighten it even further so that this doesn't move. The top part is a bit wobbly. We do not want any torsional stresses developing in our dog bone, so we are going to hold it as tightly as we can while we tighten the jaws. With that done, we are going to load up our extensor meter. So the extensor meter is going to measure the amount of elongation that our dog bone experiences under a tensile load. So you see this part goes on to the first face. Use the clamps to go all the way around it. And there you go. Make sure that the extensor meter is closed. And by closed I mean in this position. Okay, so now we are going to use the TW Elite software, the MTS software you may say, and enter the password. It is given on the table. Click on the TWEM part. We are going to use the MTS templates, and in the MTS templates, choose the template which says MTS EM tension extensor meter. Once that is done, it is going to ask you the width, thickness, extensor meter gauge length, etc. over here. The input that you have to give is the width and the thickness only. You do not need to change anything, any other part in this dialog box. I'm going to keep it as is. However, you need to enter the details that you obtain by measuring the dog bones. I'm going to take the interlock off. This is the safety switch so that the MTS machine doesn't start operating once you hit enter. It's a safety feature. And once that is done, you can hit run in order to run the test. It's going to ask you to reconfirm the values that you had entered before. Just click on OK and it will start. That was a very quick test, and it will ask you a question to return to 0 please click on no. If you press yes, it's the extensometer is going to either go up or down with the instruments hanging in it. It's not recommended at all. And once that is done, you are going to get a graph which is load versus extension. Please keep in mind this is not the same as stress strain curve. You use this data in order to plot the stress strain curve. Once that is done, you go up here, you go to file and you click on export, click on raw data, and it is going to ask you where you want it to be placed. You can say it's on the desktop, you can create a folder whichever you want. It also asks you which units you need to use. That is your choice. I leave it up to you all. And once that is done, you need to select the crosshead, time. All of these are already given inside in the raw data. Click on export and you're done. Exit out of the application. Use your data, which will look something like this. So it has your crosshead, load, time and extensometer elongation in these columns. You are to plot these columns on Excel, made the appropriate adjustments by including the area and the other factors, and obtain a stress strain curve. Once you obtain the stress strain curve, you're going to find the modulus of elasticity, and you're going to find out the yield stress and the tensile stress. And using that, you're going to compare it to a database and find out what material the dog bone was. And that's about it. Thank you so much.